Oh,
Bill.
now I've got to go back really quickly to the Christy story, the scene that you saw the first time, and why I remember it.
Okay. But she's gonna go back to, we talked about this earlier, about the scene I saw when her fucking Peter North cowgirl, that I always remember after 36 years or something?
Yeah, it was...
37 years, or whatever it is,
Yeah, it's been a long time. But I used to go to Jim and tell him, please let me have the girls who have never been with a woman before so that I can get them on the good side, so that I can bring them over so they'll like being with women. Because there's a trick to it, you know, and you know, as long as your pussy's clean, it's awesome. So what I did, Christy didn't know what she was doing at all, and so I had made up a little trick. And so what I did was, I don't know if you remember this from the 80s, Rachel Perry products. It was just a line of products, and one of their products was a little tub, a tiny little tub of lip balm. So, and it was really thick and sticky, but it just, you know, kind of like a cool chapstick. So, but hard to get off. So what I did was, I took the Rachel Perry and I rubbed it all over the outside of my pussy, the inside of my thighs, under my clit, under my hood, or under my hood, and on my clit, inside of my pussy lips. It's hard to get off. It's waxy. So I covered my pussy in this sweet flavored wax. And so I said to Christy, all you have to do is lick the wax off. Everywhere that you find that the sweet flavor, just lick it off. And so it was a challenge, and she was going to town, and she was trying, and so I turned around to be liking pussy because it was fun, you know, and I think every girl should have their first girl experience with a woman I think you should have it with me.
Yeah.
I just
there
do.
You go. Her and her husband.
Go to gingerlynn.com. Send me an email.
And a picture.
Oh, yeah, you know what? We talked about this a little bit earlier. What we find attractive. And I would probably, you know, if I don't do people on, if it was a scale of 1 to 10, like everybody I fucked would pretty much be in the 10 category, no matter what you looked like, if I liked you. Because to me, you were a 10. You know, I'm not...
You see the beauty in the people.
I see the beauty in people.
That's great.
Yeah.
So the, you know, when you started working, so, you know, you did the Suze Randall layout.
Yes.
But, you know, Jim South was seeing you probably saying, I need to have you do more work. So how did it go? Who was your first scene, you said?
First scene was Tom Byron.
Right.
Byron. Well, what was going on back then, there were a lot of magazines. You know, porn wasn't really, you know, still in the theater, so magazines were very, very popular. I still have my day runners from 83, 84, 85, 86.
Wow.
And I wrote down every day who I worked for, how much I got paid, what the project was.
I have 2 of them.
You have
90 and 91.
Do you have it? Yeah, baby. Yeah.
That's the truth,
I
right?
save them all.
Day planners, right? Yeah.
I still use it. I still write down my shit every day.
That's great.
And I've got, you know, 37 years worth of so while
really?
Yeah, so while I'm writing my book, which we talked about a little bit earlier, it's called I Don't Look Good on Paper. Think about it. All right, I'm an ex-porn star. I'm a convicted felon. I'm a single parent. I was raised in an abusive environment. Those are the 4 things that come, and I fuck everybody I meet.
That's a great name, though. I love it.
So, yeah.
That's a great title.
You know,
Shh, don't tell anybody.
don't tell everybody. You can't tell everybody. I want you to look for it.
Okay, all right, look for it.
It's not out yet. I've given myself a deadline of Valentine's Day, which is about 3 weeks away from now to finish it. So I'm very, very close.
Okay.
But then next I'll do my first edit and then send it over to an editor. You know.
You know what else you gotta do?
What's that? Copyright?
No, of course copyright, but right away,
What?
you need to work and make an audiobook.
You know what my idea was for the audiobook? Because my book is really cool in the sense that it's not, I was 3 and this happened and then that. It's a book of, right now there's 112 different stories ranging from 1 page to 10 pages. It's a big book. It's
How
gonna
many pages?
Right now it's at 422. So
That's
it's
cool.
I'm gonna try and when we're finished with it, have it down to about 400.
How many words is that? 200,000 or?
It's a lot of words. I'm trying to look. I'm dyslexic, so I'm trying to visualize the numbers in my head, but I can't right now.
I wrote a book too.
You did?
Yeah, it's about 500 pages, right? And
What's it called?
well, it's not out, so I want to still keep it.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I have it, and I'm gonna make an audiobook soon, and nobody was interested in picking it up. I hit some, publishers.
Right.
So fuck them, and I'll just do it myself, like I did my whole life.
Well, I love that about you. I love that about you.
Yeah.
What I'm thinking is do each story. I will tell each story. That will be one episode.
Mm-hmm.
So rather than an audiobook, I want it that you can sit down and hear each and every one of those stories and see me tell it with my animation and my zest and my
Yeah.
joy, my anger, my sadness, that can't be captured as well in the book. What I've done for the book, because as I've gone back and read it, it's so fucking fun. It's just all of these crazy stories. But you get to know what I do, what I'm willing to do, all the things that I've done.
Well, you're willing not to do. You do everything.
I do everything, yeah. I mean, there's really, I can't think of anything that's still on my bucket list.
Really?
Maybe a football team. But
Soccer team, football, whatever.
it doesn't matter, yeah.
It's the team.
Yeah, team. I need a team.
That's cool.
But the cool thing is, because you don't get to know me very well, you get to know what I do, so you do know me. But I've got a chapter that's called Enough About Me, What Do You Think of Me? And I have people that I've known for the last 37 years, here and there, different people who like me, people who don't like me, ex-bodyguards, porn stars, everybody from, celebrities that have written their stories. They just picked a story, like your first memory of me, or whatever comes to mind when you think of Ginger. Like my bodyguard, he said, "Do you want drunk Ginger or sober Ginger?" I'm going to be 5 years sober in a few months.
So Paul Thomas,
Yeah.
but Paul Thomas.
I love Paul, but I don't like fucking him. He's
Really?
the most boring fuck ever. Love the man. He's so bizarre. Except that he made me feel about this big on one of my movies.
Really?
And it was one of my first films, and he was there, and I was so impressed. He was going, "Been in Jesus Christ Superstar, this, that," and a classically trained actor, and it's just Mr. Paul Thomas.
Oh, he's a Paul, kind of imposing guy a little bit.
Imposing man. And, so I'm going, "Oh, cool, we're going to fuck, this is going to be awesome, And it just wasn't. It was just, Yeah, and I love PT, so don't get me wrong, I love his personality, but what he did to embarrass me was, I had a line of dialogue, and this was one of my very first films, and I remember, I'm a small town girl, and I was supposed to walk.
Oh, you did acting after this?
I started studying in 1986.
Okay.
So after I got out of porn. What he did was, I was supposed to say, "I'll have a Stolichnaya." And I could not, for the life of me, pronounce Stolichnaya. And we took that, and it was just one stupid word, and it was take after take after take. And finally PT goes, "Just call it fucking Stoli!" And I'm like, whoa. Whoa, all right then. So, and if it hadn't been loud and on the set, but I still love PT. I adore him. Just not somebody that I prefer to fuck. Although I fucked him several times.
How many times?
Oh, probably 5 or 6. Yeah.
Big dick or small?
I don't remember.
Oh, okay.
I
remember both. I like PT.
I love him. But there's people on set that I love to fuck. Would never hang out with them in real life. But fucking, and then there's people that I like PT, but would rather not fuck. But I did it anyway.
Yeah, he's got an interesting personality, right? When you talk
to say the least, yes.
Yeah, right.
Yes, he's very
To
interesting.
say the least, yeah. But Christy said the same thing.
Oh, you're kidding.
She said, no, she said when she was on the set, that PT wanted to say this word.
No.
And she said, "No, I'm not saying it."
Oh, I love that. I love that.
Right? And
Yeah, he gets so picky. It's like, let's just fuck. It's porn. Yes, it's one word out of, the next word is Stoli, will you fuck me? It wasn't that important that I knew how to pronounce it. So good for Chrissy for saying no.
he was all pissed off, she said. But she said, no, I'm not saying that stupid word.
I should have said, well, I worked it out.
Anyways.
I didn't work it out and get yelled at and told what to do.
But the thing I was bringing about PT was that he says this statement. He says, drugs and sex, right?
He still says that?
Yeah. He says, I don't want to have sex unless I'm on drugs. And I'm not doing drugs these days, so I can't have sex. But he says, why do I have sex normal, like, 15, 20 minutes, because it's so boring compared to 16, 17 hours on LSD. So how do you feel about that statement? And how do you feel about sex on drugs?
I hate sex on drugs.
Really?
Hate it.
Wow.
Hate it. Except for ecstasy. I haven't done drugs in decades. So I missed all the Molly.
Which is kind of ecstasy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Sorry, I'm eating an apple a day to keep the doctor away.
Oh, wow, you're crazy.
Uh-huh. Yeah. It kind of looks like cum, doesn't it? Well, Patrick cum.
It's like alien coming green.
Yeah. Sorry,
Oh,
you switched
ahead.
it. I want to fuck you. So drugs and sex. I know that there were 3 occasions where I did drugs on set. And the first one that I remember was on a Greg Dark film called Between the Cheeks.
I was in Between the Cheeks #2.
Ah!
Greg Dark, of course.
Greg Dark.
1990, yeah.
Yep, mine was 85. So I'm working for Greg, and I'm doing a double penetration, and I've done coke, and I've done too much coke, and I don't want to fuck. I don't want to be there. I want to go home. I'm apologizing, and Greg is so fucking cool. He said, let's go outside. So we went outside, and we got in his car, or my car, one of the cars, and we just sat there and talked like normal. It wasn't like, so what's going on? Why are you doing drugs? No, it was getting to know each other. We just sat there and bullshitted for 20 minutes, half an hour, until I felt normal enough to go back on the set and do my job. So that was a big, okay, drugs do not work for me with sex. And then
With sex or on the set, or both?
I used to do, like I said, I used to do blow, and I used to love fucking on blow.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
In the beginning. But at the end of my cocaine days, no, I was in my closet on the floor with a mirror because I didn't,
Mirror doing.
a mirror chopping lines.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was just kind of like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
And so drugs because I've done enough drugs for everyone.
Yeah.
And I mean that. And so I just don't, for me, they don't go together, especially on a set. The last 2 films that I did, what had happened was I always woke up every day and I went, oh, yay, I'm gonna fuck this person, or oh, I can't wait for this. And it was just this, you wake up, it's like Christmas morning. And I would be so excited. And I woke up one day, almost exactly 2 years into my career, and I went, fuck, I don't want to suck that dick today. And I'd always promised myself that if I ever didn't like what I was doing, I wouldn't do it anymore. So I decided to quit, but I was under contract with Vivid. I had 2 more films to do. I was the very first contract girl ever.
Yeah, Ginger, I Love You, or what was it
Just
called?
Ginger.
Just Ginger? The
Not
first
just
one.
Ginger, it was called Ginger.
From Vivid.
Yeah.
I had Steve Hirsch on the show.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Oh.
The owner of Vivid,
Yeah, I
he said
know.
you're- Yeah.
What did he say about me?
Oh, he said you're great, of course. I mean, you were his first contract.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the one.
We were talking about the sex on drugs, and you said you woke up and you didn't feel like
Oh, so
sex.
the day that I woke up, and that's the day I decided to quit. So I went into Stephen Hirsch, and said, I don't want to do this anymore. And he said,
2 years into the business.
2 years into the business.
Okay.
And he said, then don't. And I said, but I have a contract. I owe you 2 films. He said, you don't have to live up to your contract. And I said, yes, I do. It's just who I am.
Wow.
You know, I gave you my word, and I will do my last 2 films. It'll give you time to get your next girl. I'm not just going to walk out on you. So I didn't. But what I did do, and one of my best scenes ever came out of it, but I did cocaine on my last 2 films, Forbidden.
And the best scene came out of it?
Here, I was so emotional. I so didn't want to be there still. I'm doing blow. I had them bring champagne on the set. And so I am supposed to do a scene with Barbara Dare. And
So pretty, right?
my favorite girl to ever fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, Christy. Barbara was just, she was a lesbian.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, you know, she liked girls. That was her deal, and I loved fucking her. So I'm doing this scene. I'm on coke. I'm doing my last 2 movies. We're shooting them simultaneously. And I just went, I need a break. So I went in, I drew a bath, and I ran bubbles. I put bubbles in it, and I got in the tub with my cocaine and my champagne while I had the cocaine on the counter. I didn't bring the cocaine.
So you must have been on location at a house location.
We were at a house location. Yeah, the same one that with the plaid sofa that I'm sure you fucked on out in, oh God.
Jim's house? No.
No, there was a house out somewhere that we used to, just there was a plaid couch that was crusty, put it that way.
From the 60s now?
I think so. So I'm in the bathtub, I'm drinking champagne, I'm high, and I'm running my lines. I'm just in there by myself, and the writer, Raven Touchstone, she came into the bathroom and said, do you want to run lines with me? And I said, no, I'm fine. Cool. She said, okay, and she left. And a couple seconds later, Barbara Dare walks in naked and gets in the bathtub with me. And we're drinking champagne. While we're drinking champagne and running our dialogue, Penny goes to the director, who I can't remember who directed the last 2 films, sorry, and says, you need to get this now. And so the scene that was supposed to take place in the living room or in the kitchen or wherever else the bug was supposed to take place, Barbara and I just sat there, and at one point we were crying. We were just, this was before we shot. It was just, I had goosebumps. It was just really emotional, and you know, I didn't want to be there, and I was betraying myself. So I felt very uncomfortable. You know, I have to be true to myself. So Barbara comes in, we're running dialogue, they bring in the cameras, they sneak them in, take away our scripts, and we just go. We just run we do our dialogue, and we just had one of the most amazing, beautiful, fucking real sex scenes that I've ever had. So that time, it was great. Now later on in the day, I had to suck Jamie Gillis's dick, and I had the worst cotton mouth in the world. I could not produce any spit. And you can't suck a dick without spit. So I had a glass of water on the side of you know, somewhere, and it was ice water. So I took a sip of the ice water and then went down on Jamie's dick, and he flipped the button. He's ice cold, you know. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna do the little ice thing, and it'll melt. It'll be really good. No, it wasn't cool. It was, Jamie did not like it at all, and it didn't turn out so well. So drugs for me on the set, no, even though I did have one of my best scenes ever. It just happened to be with someone that I really loved fucking. And I love fucking Jamie too.
Yeah?
Jamie was a dirty, filthy, nasty, sick fuck. Oh my God, when I did my comeback, I hired Jamie. We did a film called Sunset Boulevard, based on
What year was that?
1999 or
Okay.
2000.
Okay.
And so Jamie plays this character, and anyway, we're sitting on the sofa while they're setting up, and Jamie and I are just talking. He goes, you ever fucked a dog? No, he goes, you should. Why would I fuck a dog? He goes, I'll film him. Fuck a dog. And it was one, and I don't know what to say. I don't want to go, are you fucking kidding me? I don't fuck dogs, which is what I should have said. But it was just such a shock. And because we're sitting there in wardrobe, getting ready to do a dialogue scene, there's Jamie, you know.
He's a maniac.
You need to fuck a dog. I don't think so. I'm fine with people.
He was great. I liked him a lot.
I loved Jamie. I love Jamie. There was nobody like him.
When I talk to the people, like, you know, I talked to Herschel Savage, I talked to Joey, you know, I talked to somebody else on the show, PT, yeah, PT. right? They say that Jamie was #1 in those days.
Jamie, I loved fucking Jamie, and he was just. Well, there's one scene that I remember that I was not fucking him in, but I actually had to leave the scene in the middle of it and go. We were shooting at W.C. Field's old mansion, so I left. Luckily, there were like 20 people in the scene. I left and went out into the water fountain and to cleanse. I just felt so dirty. So what Jamie did, the film is called 10 Little Maidens. And it's got the 5 top girls at the time. Nina's in it, Lisa DeLeo, I'm in it, and I can't remember the other 2 right now. It's got the top 5 guys at the time. And it's based on the Tom Jones, the Tom Jones scene, in the food scene in the Tom Jones movie. Have you seen it? There's this famous food scene where everybody gets food and sex. So we're doing the food and sex. So we're getting ready, and everybody's there setting up this big, long banquet table, and
Tom Jones, the singer, right?
Tom Jones. No, there was a movie.
Oh, okay.
Tom Jones, the movie. And so they're setting everything up, and I walk into the kitchen. Here's Jamie with a dead chicken. I don't know if it makes a difference, dead or alive. And he's fucking the chicken, and it's in the script that he's supposed to do that.
This is the comeback or no?
No, this is 10 Little Maids.
Okay.
This is way before.
Right.
No, this is way before. No, on the comeback, he just wanted me to fuck a dog.
Okay. So he's fucking a chicken. That's crazy.
So he's fucking this chicken, and like I said, there's a part in the script where he does. We're not filming yet. Jamie's just in the kitchen fucking a chicken. Yeah. So that didn't. It was like, okay, Jamie's fucking a chicken. And then we start the scene, and in the center of the table, there's this giant pig, with an apple in its mouth. It's a real pig. It's not a prop. All the food on the table, everything is edible. So I've got Nina Hartley fucking me with the daikon radish. I'm over here doing this to Harry Breams, and I'm jumping around and fucking everybody. I'm on the table. We're playing with the food. It's messy. Oh, if you play with food, don't be afraid. Just get all in there, because it's one of those things. You go, oh, yeah. No, it can be fucking fun. So we're all into all this stuff, and everything is it's the wildest scene ever, and the cameramen are trying to capture everything that's going on because you've got little groups here and there. And at one point, Jamie takes the pig, picks it up, cracks it open. So now the pig is split in half. Okay? I mean, it was already, to eat it. It was already cut. But he opens the pig up, smashes Amber Lynn down on the table. So she's bent over the table, puts the pig carcass on top of her, slides his hand into the carcass, and brings out a big thing of lard, like pig fat, and smears it all over her pussy and her ass, and he's fucking her with pig fat.
Really?
And I'm just going, and I'm 22 maybe? I'm going, what the fuck? For some reason the chicken didn't really bother me. The pig.
Wow, he's a maniac.
But it's Jamie. It's Jamie. You just had to take Jamie for who he was, and he was one of the most fun fucks ever. I actually had my first anal on film accidentally, and thank God nobody knew it because I charged $5,000 for anal.
Really? Wow.
Oh, yeah. Jamie and I are doing this shoot for Susan Randall. I don't know if it was one of the Susan Centerfolds or Electric Blue or what we were shooting for. And we're in spoon position, and Jamie's fucking me in my pussy, and I've got my leg up, and then it's in my butt. It's just wham in my ass, and I'm still new enough. This was one of my very first, after I'd done my first couple movies. I suppose I should have pointed it out because it was, you might want to get this.
That's crazy. So that is some wild stuff. Jamie's amazing. I worked with him in a scene one time.
Was he intimidating? What was it like working with him?
Well, I was so strong, and I think I intimidated him.
I can see that.
Like in 91 or 92 for Alex Dorenzi, right?
Oh, Alex Dorenzi.
But I said, hey, Pop, come on, let's fuck this girl. He said, stop calling me Pop! We're making him crazy, right? So I threw him off. But I thought he was very cool, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I want to go back into you walk into gyms, and he says, you get $5,000 for this shoot. Then the next shoot, I know the normal magazines pay what, $500, $800?
Oh, it was back then. It ranged from 200 up to 1,000, depending on the magazine, what you were shooting, what it involved. But the only other magazine I made $5,000 on was Puritan,
All right.
and I did 5 guys. So it was actually technically my only gangbang. And it was cut, and she shot it on camera. It was hardcore, of course.
Oh.
So if you can find this issue of Puritan magazine, it's just, it's my own. It's amazing. Of course, Peter North is in it.
All right.
Yeah. And
So-
I had to keep 5 guys going, and it was so much fun. One in each hand, one in my mouth, got one in the puss, one in the ass, one in the ear, one in the thick.
You're a real trooper.
So Jim, I shot for magazines for months, from September up until December, and I shot pretty much every day. I think in my first month I shot 28 out of 30 days.
Wow.
There were enough magazines and enough demand for my look, I guess, that I just shot magazine layouts.
Well, what about Hustler? You shot Clyde McLean or no?
I've shot with Clive for Hustler, but my first Hustler shoot was a whole different situation. So Jim tells me, we've got this shoot, it's for Hustler, and it's a really big deal. So
They pay good too, right?
they pay very well. And so I'm like, oh yay, Hustler, are you fucking kidding me? I'd love to do Hustler. It's just so wrong, I love it.
Yeah.
And so this photographer takes me down to this store in Orange County, and I walk in, and there's cages, and there's ball gags, and there's leather, and there's latex, and there's men's shoes in size 14, and things I had never seen before. It was a bondage shop, and I had never seen anything like that before. This was all new to me. So we do all my wardrobe, we get all the gear and everything that I'm gonna use for the shoot, and drive back to Los Angeles, and I get back to my house, and I talk to Jim, and I call him up, and I'm like, Jim, I can't do this. I go, I can't do leather. I'm too nice. I'm from Illinois. I can't do leather.
Right.
And Larry fucking flipped. Called me personally, told me I would never work in this business. I would never make it in this business. He was fucking pissed.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I've had 3 personal direct phone calls from Larry Flint over the years. Yeah.
And
So-
then you did it or you didn't do it?
So I didn't do it.
Wow, really? He said, fuck you?
I didn't mean to say fuck
Yeah.
you. I was just uncomfortable. And again, if I'm not true to myself, I'm bonkers. I'm wild and crazy and just off normal enough without.
Yeah, no, I kind of am similar. I don't like
Yeah.
doing something I don't want to do.
Yeah, I just don't.
Yeah. So then you work for it?
So I worked for several months, and then Jim started talking about commercial. I found out that meant sex on camera, and I just didn't want to do it. I had that stereotype image of
The hookers and stuff, you said.
and drug addicts and diseases, and then there was a date that I was in Jim's office. I walked in, and there was this woman in there, and I'm not sure, I didn't write it down. I think it was Jacqueline Lawrence. She has red hair, right?
Yeah, I think I never met her, but I think she.
I'm pretty sure it was her.
Pretty, right?
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And she was wearing, this was the Kim Basinger. Remember when everybody wore the white flowy dresses?
Uh-huh.
So she's wearing this white flowy dress. She's got a script in her lap, and she's got a cigarette in a long holder. And I'm going,
Oh, yeah?
oh my God, she's so sophisticated.
Bad bitch.
And I'm going, and she's reading with Jim, and I'm going, are you doing porn? And she said, yeah. And she was a big name at the time. And I said, can I take you to lunch? And she said, yes.
Wow.
So I took her to lunch and picked her brain. And she's the one that said, ask for this much per scene, say no when you want to, get script approval, get cast approval. But she was a big star. She was in a position to get those things. I was not.
Wow.
So as I said earlier, I went back to Jim and told him I would do it, but these were my conditions. And he thought I was funny as fuck, you know. He was like, no one's ever going to do that. You're not going to get, that's just not going to happen. And do you remember the Gong Show?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, do you remember?
With Barry,
Barry,
was it Barry?
it was definitely Barry. But the Gong girl, the tall, beautiful blonde that did the Gong, her name was Svetlana Marsh. And she and her husband David were doing their first 2 films on the island of Kauai, and they wanted only girls that had never been seen in a film before.
Oh.
Brand new, if possible. The only name that you might, Lois Ayres was in it.
Oh,
I think
I worked
Lois.
with her. She was super cool.
Isn't she like the coolest ever?
Yeah, so cool, right?
Yeah, she really is. Really is. Love her.
1990, I worked with her, I think.
Yeah.
I think I worked with her 2 or 3 times. Yeah. She got back from fucking Bora Bora. She said, "Oh, I was in Bora Bora." She showed me the pictures. She was
Oh,
cool.
nice.
She got married or something.
Yeah, last time I heard from her, she was in Greece.
Oh.
And she sent me a picture of her on the top of this cliff that she was, looked like she was going to jump off of. There was no caption, but in my mind, it was just go for it.
Yeah, she likes to travel, I guess, huh?
I guess so.
But she was very nice. Very cool.
Yeah. So I did those 2 films. I did my test films, you know, with Tommy, which made me fall in lust with him.
Really?
Yeah.
He fucked you good?
He fucked me so good. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, and he has a big, fat, nice cock. Just loved his
Yeah,
cock.
all right.
Yeah. And so, you know, after I came back, I was like, well, I'll do a few more films. I, you know, really had a good time. And it just never ended. I had 2 years and 3 months of nonstop work. It was pretty much, there weren't that many companies there were like 10 films coming out a month. You know, it was just people shot on film when I started.
Yeah.
My first year, out of the 69 films that I did in my original stint in the industry, over 40 of those were shot on film.
Oh, that's cool, huh?
Which,
Yeah.
we had 130-page scripts. We had,
Yeah.
you know, it was basically, you know, a movie where you get to see people fuck that actually want to fuck, rather than just fucking with dialogue in between.
I love them.
I love the old school movies. I love because I want to build up. I want to get there. I want to sit and watch something until my pussy starts to throb on its own. And,
Like, what's her name made you like?
like Vanessa Del Rio
Yeah.
did. Yeah.
You ever read her?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Still love her. Still love her.
How much were you getting paid per scene when you started and then when you ended? What was it like?
I was getting $1,000 per regular scene.
The first scene?
The first scene.
Wow.
And I got $5,000 for anal.
Wow. Is that higher than the average girls, or was that pretty much the day
most
rate?
people- No, that was a lot of money in those days.
Yeah,
You know,
right, that's what I thought,
$1,000.
right?
Yeah, that was like
Top.
the top numbers.
Okay. Normal scene, I'm guessing, is 400 or 500 for the average girls? or-
Probably, yeah. That's what I would have guessed.
Okay.
And then it just depended on the movie. You know, the highest I've been paid is $50,000. I've done 7 films that I made $50,000 per film on.
Really?
That was my comeback.
Oh, wow, that is cool.
So-
50 grand for
Per
3 or
film.
4 scenes or
3
something?
scenes per movie, unless I wanted to do more, and I usually did.
Wow.
I was involved in the writing and the sex that I wanted to have during my comeback.
Well, that's fucking radical. I'm a performer, so I'm down, you know what I mean?
Yeah, $50,000 a scene or a film. You
Yeah,
kidding
that's
me?
fucking radical.
Yeah.
So that must, I mean, in those days though, right? Because the money is different. You're young. Were you stacking the money up?
No.
Oh, you just having fun?
Nobody talk. What's the Sublime song? I had $1,000,000, but I spent
They put me in their video. They love me or something.
No, they
Yeah.
did.
Yeah.
You gotta hook me up. I love Sublime.
I mean-
I know they're not Sublime anymore. I mean, but they
Greg
still
Dark
are.
did it.
Yeah.
Greg Dark made the
Oh, did
video.
he? Oh, okay.
1995 or 6 or
Yeah.
something. Like the guy just died or something.
Oh, he did.
The singer in those days.
Yeah,
So he
yeah.
had just overdosed.
Oh.
You know, and it was me and Savannah in the alley. If you ever heard of
Oh,
Savannah.
of course I've heard of Savannah. I heard she
Right.
was difficult.
She was difficult to people, but to me, she was the sweetest, you know. So,
Yeah, that's what counts. How do people treat you?
so I can only say good things about Savannah. So I'm excited because that you're making it's great. When I started, you know, I was making $100 a scene, and I was happy to do it. You know what I mean?
Well, for guys,
Yeah.
I don't know what the guys make, but
I was 3 or 4 scenes a day. I was like, this
are you
is
just fucking all day?
fucking everything
and they're
inside.
giving me money?
Yeah.
Oh my God, this is amazing.
like I wasn't even. I'm from a truck shop, you know, working, breaking my knuckles and burning and freezing in the winter and the summer. So fucking pussy all day for the month, 400, sometimes 500 a day. You know, forget about it. It's a dream. So for you,
It was a dream.
It's
for
a
me
dream,
as well.
right?
Yeah, it was amazing because I was fucking anyway.
Yeah,
You know?
I was like, I
And
was
this
jacking
way,
off, right?
I got to make sure that I was fucking good people that were good fuckers.
Uh-huh.
You know, if you weren't on my good fucker list, then, you know, like sometimes I do you, but it'd be like, wouldn't be as excited, but I'd still come. It's not fair for the girls not to come. Guys always get to come.
Yeah. I always try to make the girls
I
come.
know, tell me
And I won a lot of Best Sexing awards because I was really down. And I was not a politician, so I'm sure they skipped me a lot of times, you know what I mean? But, you know, I appreciate all the goodness I got. You know?
Congratulations, yeah.
But, so Chrissy driving a Porsche, right? She says he had a convertible Porsche. I saw it, right? Were you rolling badass cars or?
I had my Porsches. I had 3 of them, and then
Oh, Porsches, all right.
yeah, I had all
Convertible?
oh yeah,
Blonde?
yeah, gold one and 2 red
Yeah.
ones, and then
That's cool. That's the image, you know. I can
Yeah.
see when I'm working in a truck
Oh,
shop,
yeah.
driving a fucking convertible Porsche. It's bad. Excuse me.
no, that's what I remember. But when I went to buy my first Porsche, it was a dealership off of Sunset in La Cienega, and so when we took it out to test drive, if you know that La Cienega goes uphill to Sunset, it's a really steep incline, and it's a stick shift,
To
which
go over the hill, you mean, or no?
just to get up to Sunset.
Okay.
Just going from La Cienega up to Sunset.
Okay.
That
Yeah, coming
last-
from down, you're saying
coming
maybe
from down.
from Melrose or for Santa Monica, whatever.
Yeah,
Okay.
there's a hill at the
Uh-huh.
very end. And so, I grew up on a stick shift. You know, I learned to drive on a stick shift, so I know how to drive a stick shift. But it had been a while. And so I'm in this beautiful mint green Porsche convertible, and I'm out there driving it, and I get to this hill. And
But you know sticks, but
I know sticks, but I just didn't get the clutch and the gas and the right thing. Rolled back into the car behind me. Oh, so yeah, that
and
was
you're
my
pretty-
first. I didn't buy that one though.
Oh, really?
I just paid for the. I don't remember what happened there. They're insured, or I was.
Brand new, you say? You're test driving it? Whoa.
Yeah, it was a big fuck up. I felt so bad.
That's-
I felt so bad, and then I didn't buy a car from them.
Oh, shit, really?
Mhm.
Wow.
So yeah, Porsches and SUVs, and I've owned 3 houses, and so I mean, I didn't squander all my money away. I bought things. I bought houses. I bought cars. I collect coins. You know, so I'm not broke by any means, but I should be in a lot different position. You know, but there's nobody. That's one of the things that. I wish there was somebody to guide the new girls.
Yeah.
I know they've got, you know, the
Somebody who
the
make
union.
money, yeah.
Yeah, just what to do with your money, because it's when you're that young and you've got all that money coming in. I've traveled the world. I've been everywhere except for Greece and Thailand, and Russia. But yeah, I've traveled. I've got 3 full passports.
Wow.
So
You lived a life. That's the thing.
I lived life. I didn't say yeah. So I have no regrets.
They have different ideas of richness, you know what I mean?
Right.
Out in the universe, you know
That's
what I mean?
very true.
Right? There's richness is in money, but there's richness in life and experiences in life.
I'm so fucking rich.
Right?
I'm a billionaire,
You're a
baby.
fucking trillionaire.
A trillionaire.
Yeah. So I guess you're the top girl. You know, I'm guessing you're the top
Yes.
girl
No.
in this point in time.
Well, I don't know.
I see Traci Lords in you.
It was me and
That's what I see, but I wasn't there.
It was, but I love all the other girls, so I don't want to go. Yeah, I was number 1. You know.
But really, we can say, was it really you and
It
Traci
was
Lords?
all of the big movies, everything. It was either Tracy or I, or
That's
both
right,
of
right?
us.
Uh-huh.
They could afford both of us.
So how did you feel about? Was she cool? Was she?
No.
No?
I met Tracy across from Jim's office in a parking lot, in the grocery store parking lot.
Yeah, I love that parking lot.
Yeah. And Tracy shows up, and she's got these curlers in her hair. Yeah, I'm in a ponytail. She's done her own makeup, and she looks great. I've done my own makeup, and I look like a clown.
Really?
I'm just not. I wasn't sophisticated at all, and she just.
Tomboy.
Yeah, I was a kid, you know, and so she was just. I swear, I've got a potty mouth, but I was just learning to have a good one back then. That woman walked up and just foul mouth.
Really?
Yeah, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna like this girl. But there was something weird about her eyes. There was just something weird about it. And I did 5 or 6 scenes with her. I liked fucking her, but I didn't like her. There was something wrong. I always felt that there was nobody like shark eyes. Like there was something up with her.
Yeah.
You know, just she was
Goodbye.
evil. Yeah, did not. There was something wrong. You know, I just felt it with her.
Your stomach sometimes.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Well, that's the truth. But she was horny and hot.
She was horny and hot. You know, yeah. She didn't really do it for me.
Okay.
No, but we had actually. I would say that our scenes, I would call them grudge fucks. So they were really fucking hot because anytime you have an emotion behind your sex, it's hot.
Yeah.
And I didn't like her.
Whoa.
And so it was very, you know, aggressive and
That's was it because you were competitive or just because you felt that?
I just didn't like her. She just wasn't a nice person.
Really?
She not well. Like I had I moved from my A-frame up in Topanga down into the city into Westwood, and my apartment had a step-down living room. You know, you had to kind of step down to go into it. So it was called the Pit, and everybody would come over. So I partied before I filmed. I partied after I filmed, and only 3 times I can remember on film. But after a film, my place was where let's go back and fucking do drugs. And Traci never came. She never hung out with any of us. Never any of the functions, anything that we did. She hung out with Tommy.
I heard that.
Yeah, she hung out with Tommy.
That's different because you like Tommy too a little bit, right?
I love Tommy, yeah. Yeah, but just there was, like most of the girls, well, if I fuck you, I'm closer to you. You know, we've shared something incredible.
Right, especially off camera and it's a good fuck. Yeah, it's way.
Yeah, there's something really great about it. And with her, there wasn't anything great about that. Yeah. So I don't care if the bitch rots in hell. I hate the cunt. I really do. No, she just fucked over so many people, including myself. I did 4 months and 17 days in prison. I violated my probation, but the reason I was on probation was because Traci Lords went. This is when the Meese Commission was in session and doing all their shit. Reagan and porn, where they were trying to get rid of porn, and so when Traci came out as being underage, she gave them. I've actually seen the letter. I've seen the piece of paper from my attorney. 3 names of people that she felt knew everyone in the industry and could point out who they were, what their real names were, that they knew that she was underage. And so it was me, it was Tom Byron, and it was Harry Reeves. Those are the 3 names on the list, and they went after me first. I spent $450,000 or $80,000 on a trial. So let me get to it. So what happened was, I get a knock on my door one day, and it's the district, somebody from the district attorney's office. And so they come in and sit down, and I say tape recorder, and I go, let me call my attorney. So I call my attorney, he says, don't say anything. And so we go through this process, and I refuse. They want me to go before the grand jury and testify on her behalf against these 64 adult film producers that, you know, they're just trying to take everybody down. I refuse, so the U.S. Attorney's Office gets involved, and they say, if you don't help us, we will make your life very difficult. And it was one of those things where you go, they're not fucking around. So I go before the grand jury. I'm blonde, my nickname's Dory. I watch a movie, and the minute it's over, I could not tell you that storyline to save my fucking life. I'm immersed in the movie, and then it's over. So I didn't recognize anybody, you know. Maybe that was Bob. You know, I was of no help whatsoever. My poppy taught me, there's 3 things you don't do. You don't steal, you don't snitch. Oh, fuck, what's the last one? I've probably been doing it.
Oh, yeah. What was that?
You don't steal and you don't snitch.
Okay.
Those are the 2 that stood out in my mind. So I was of no help whatsoever, and so that was over. Years go by, and I'm at Charlie's house. This is 1990, maybe 91, because I remember we were doing shrooms, and we were wearing sunglasses and taking goofy pictures. We were making fun of Mary Steenburgen's name for like 20 minutes.
Really? She's pretty too, right?
She's beautiful, but we were just fucked up and high. And so Charlie and I were just fucked up. And I get a call from my attorney, and he goes, "You've been indicted." And I'm like, "What? Indicted for what? I don't have a fucking parking ticket. And everything that I do that's illegal, I haven't got caught doing. You know, and that's just..." So, I have a trial. I'm facing 6 years in prison. What they tried to charge me with was tax evasion, but I paid all my taxes. And what they charged me for was willfully subscribing to a false tax return. There was $2,087.04 in my bank account without a 1099 or any way to prove where I got that money. So they decided that if that one was in there, how much did I spend that I just didn't put in there? That's what they were going after me for. You know, they said that I knew my accountant fucked up on my returns. You know, so it wasn't tax evasion, same fucking shit. $450,000 or $80,000 later, I'm standing there shaking it. I remember getting the verdict and the first count, guilty, and I just, my knee, I like you see people buckle, and my knees buckled, and I'm like, fuck me. And then the second 2 counts they didn't find me guilty of, but they found me guilty of the 1 year that 2000, because that was the only, there was nothing they could prove because I didn't do anything. But it cost me a lot of time, a lot of angst, a lot of, you know, thank God I had Charlie and his family behind me at that point in time because it was really fucking scary. So I ended up getting 750 hours of community service and 3 years probation. Now, so for community service, I'm on tour right now. I'm a stripper at this point. So it's really, I've got a drug test all the time, and then when I go away, I have to do it when I come back, and I'm only allowed to go for so many days. So years go by, 3 years almost, and my probation is months away from being up, and I've had the same probation officer, love the bitch, just, I mean, we're like buds, you know? I pass all my tests, everything's fine. I get permission to fly to Cannes for the film festival because I had just done a film called Bound and Gagged: A Love Story. It's the first movie that I ever did that was released in theaters that I had to lead. Bound and Gagged: A Love Story. So
that's a mainstream movie?
That's a mainstream movie. So I was over in Cannes promoting this film, and I'm on the beach, and there's reporters, and I've got this mass of people, and I'm up there with Elizabeth Saltarelli, who's one of my co-stars, and Chris Mulkey's in the film, who's amazing. And I see there's another group down on the beach that's got a bigger crowd than me. And sometimes I'm so not that girl, but then there's sometimes I'm like, the fuck is down there? You know? So I send somebody down to figure out what it is, and it's Charlie. Now we're broken up at this point. We've been off and on, and you know, we had 2 good solid years, and then he decided, we'd gotten sober together, and he decided he didn't want to be sober anymore. It just wasn't.
Yeah, I mean, I really want to know about that, you know, thing. But
I'll tell you that whole story in a little bit. Okay. But so I end up going to Cannes, running into Charlie. He says, "Do you want to go to Vienna with me?" All right. Now I don't have permission to go to Vienna, but I do anyway for the filming of Three Musketeers. So I fly to Vienna with Charlie, and just party, and everybody. We're out doing go-karts, and we're out in clubs, and there's the whole cast, and it's an amazing experience. Now, I'm engaged to someone at the time, but you know I'm not going to marry him, but I'm wearing a ring.
Oh, shit.
So somebody snags some footage of us out doing something, and me and Charlie together, and I'm wearing the ring. So now it's on whatever the fuck, you know, Entertainment Tonight, or whatever the show is that Ginger Lynn singing with Charlie Sheen, and you know, on the set of it, and I'm going, fuck, no. I got back, and the first thing that they did was drug test me, and I did not pass. So
right at the end of your probation.
Right at the end of my probation. So I
think you should take a hit. Just a tip.
No, I'm
kidding. Like, you know what?
That was just a lot of shit.
This is to you.
That's where I got my first tattoo. It's a pair of lips on my ass.
Kiss my ass.
Kiss my ass. And it's the federal government, the IRS, and our judicial system.
They just attacked you.
Yeah, it was just so unnecessary. And it was so difficult trying me that they didn't do Harry or Tommy. You know, they just stopped after that. But prison was, I went to federal prison. You know, I didn't go to jail. I had to turn myself in by noon on this particular day. And so my father had driven from Illinois to California. My roommate, with my grandma, so I had my grandma there. My dad and my roommate went to the bank to clear out my safety deposit box and my accounts.
Your father?
My father, yeah. Just clearing out my bank.
I forgot, I didn't hear the father.
Yeah.
Roommate
No, my dad.
Gone, see you later, yeah.
Yeah. No, my roommate I've known since I was 3. She's still my best friend. So I get a phone call. It's like 10 in the morning. I'm still in bed, and I answer the phone, and there's nobody there. It's a hang-up. And like 2 minutes later, there's banging on the door. And I'm not letting the fucking... My grandma goes to open the door, and I literally was like footballing. Plowed through her, got her out of the way, made sure she didn't unlock the door. And I'm like, no. And here I am trying to figure out, do I cut sheets up and tie them? Because I'm in a condo. I'm 3 stories up. So I can make it down. And I don't know what to do now, because my dad's not there. My dad and my roommate are at the bank. It's me and my grandma, and I'm petrified because it's the marshals out there, and I'm supposed to turn myself in. And we're talking, belly chains and ankle things. So they take...
So you didn't turn yourself in on time?
No, I had 2 hours left to still turn myself in.
Oh.
No, it wasn't even time. Here's how fucked up it was.
What the fuck?
Yeah, well, it's a new... Remember, this is a new PO officer. They take the doors off the hinges of my house, of my condo.
They took the door off?
They took it off because I wouldn't open it. They took the door off the hinges. And so they come in, and I'm stalling. I'm wearing a little t-shirt, and I'm like, can I get dressed first? And they're like, yeah, go ahead. And they, watch me get dressed. I'm like, and then I pretend that I'm gonna throw up, and I start, I'm like, hold on, so I do the fake gagging, and then I'm like, okay, maybe a banana will settle my stomach. Can I have some milk and a banana before we go? Because I just want to see my dad. I don't want to leave without giving, I don't know how long I'm gonna be here. I can do 6 years now. So I stall them long enough that my dad gets back, thank God. And I just, the biggest hug ever, I love you. And so I hugged him and my grandma and my best friend goodbye, and they took me off with it in the most humiliating way that they possibly could. There was no reason for that, none whatsoever. And I get there, and I'm in the holding tank, and there's probably 20 women in there. One of them has track marks all up and down her arms. She's about 6 months pregnant. The girls have it smells like piss and shit. There's one toilet, and it's just gross. There's no toilet paper because the girls that have been there for a long time are using it for pillows. But I met Juice and Juanita. Juice and Juanita became my girls that took care of me. And this is how they had to take care of me. What happened was, it was lunch, and so everybody gets their little bag lunch. But Jethro, who is the guard on duty, is a Ginger Lynn fan. So Jethro brings Ginger McDonald's. Okay, not fucking cool. Everybody else has got a stale bread sandwich and an old rotten apple, and you bring me McDonald's, and I'm like, so everybody's pissed. They hate me now. Fucking hate me. I don't eat it. I'm like, anybody that wants it can have it. And there's this Mexican woman named Juanita that just kind of moved over and sat down on one side of me, and this tiny little Asian woman named Juice. And Juice sat down on the other side of me, and they just sat with me all day, and nobody fucked with me.
Huh?
And we didn't talk. We didn't, I said thanks, And
Juanita looked kind of rough?
they both did. They both did. And Juanita was a grandma. Juanita was like 40-something. She was not a young, she was a...
Was she a chola?
She owned, I don't know. She owned an antique store that she sold drugs out of the back.
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah, Juice, I don't know what she did. But, so I'm in the holding tank for about 12 hours, and then now it's about 2 in the morning, and I get over to prison. And, I've been strip searched in every hole and coughed, and it's just been, the whole day has been horrible. And they put me in my cell, and I'm in a cell by myself. And so and they give me this stack of clothes that are mine. I've got a jumpsuit on now, but I have to change into these other clothes. But not right now. So the panties are stained with somebody else's piss and blood. It's just, everything's clean, but it's dirty. You know what I mean? And I'm on the top bunk, and finally, I haven't cried all day, and I just break down, and I lose it. And I'm sobbing very dramatically.
Yeah, sounds great.
It was like the worst day of my life. And then 2 guards came in and were telling me how much they liked the way I sucked cock. And I'm thinking in my head, fuck, I've been in this movie. I did this movie with PT. I did this movie, no. And so I'm already crying, and now I start screaming, and I'm hysterical, and they laugh, and they eventually leave. They don't do anything. They don't rape me. You get 2 5-minute phone calls per day. And you wait in line, and you sometimes, even when you're in the front, somebody will push you up because they're bigger than you are. So I'm in line to make my phone call. You know, I've been here one night. I'm by myself. I'm scared as fuck. So I call my attorney, and I tell him what's happened. And he says, this is going out to the press. So.
Well, what happened? What?
No, nothing. But the guards were inappropriate. You do not walk into a prison, 2 guards into a prison cell with a woman and tell her that you like the way she sucks cock. That's against the rules. Yeah. Had I not been so vocal and freaked out and screamed and been on the top bunk, had I been easily accessible, it would have been. I mean, I don't know. I could have totally been raped. I mean, when I was there was a girl that was sodomized with a toilet brush and her eye put out for snitching on somebody else. And it happened, you know, and they took her down to the last cell and they just fucking did it to her. So this is no
The guards did it?
Yeah, or no, the guards did not. No, girls did it. The guards turned away. No, I had, anyway. So I'll just wrap this up real quick. It just ends up that I get before the judge, because you don't know when you're going before the judge. I end up in a cell with the only other white girl who's a junkie, so I learn how to mix and fix heroin, because if she gets caught, I'm going to the hole too. So I'm shooting up my junkie roommate all day. He was 19, beautiful. I'm going, God, if she wasn't a junkie, I could be fucking her. I mean, prison sex with a hot, young 19-year-old girl. Are you kidding me?
Something to do.
She was beautiful.
Really?
Yeah, but she was too high all the time. So, long story short, I get before the judge 14 days later, which I guess is pretty quick, and the judge sentences me to 90 days in at Gateway CCC. Now, Gateway CCC is a prison in Echo Park that you don't have a cell, there's cottages. And it's primarily the people there are ones that have done a long, hard bit of time, and they're trying to get back into society. So you stay there and you hopefully get a job and you go out and do this. So I was put into one of the cottages and spent 3 months there. But I didn't go straight to the cottages. No, I went to rehab, mandatory rehab for 30 days. So anyway, fuck Traci Lords. It all was based on her, and it started with her being underage and her putting my name on a piece of paper. And so I will wrap up my prison story and why I don't like Traci Lords. Anybody else on my hate list?
Right. Jim was beat up too, right? Jim got beat up on it. It was horrible.
Oh yeah, everybody. Are you kidding me? Yeah. Everybody did. People I love and cared about. Ron Vogel went into the same asylum for a while.
Really?
Yeah, because he had shot 90% of his catalog with Traci Lords.
All the money lost, or whatever, right?
People lost a lot of money. They lost. Traci, if you didn't, like what you were mentioning earlier, if you didn't hire Ginger Lynn, you hired Traci Lords. And so she worked a lot, and there was a lot of stuff out there, so she hurt a lot of people.
Yeah, you know, Al.
And I don't believe for a second she was under 18. I still don't.
Al didn't feel so good about any of that either. I didn't get a good vibe, like he was too happy about that situation.
Yeah.
So he's a good guy.
Well, people too. Just if you were friends with her and she fucked you over, I mean, I would imagine if you were her girlfriend or boyfriend, and like Tommy was. I think they were kind of together. Yeah. Can you imagine? Come out that your girlfriend's 16 and a porn star.
Yeah.
And you're Tom Byron.
In those days, it would be real fucking. Today, but those days, it's a different world.
It was news back then.
Yeah, big.
Because there wasn't 24/7 news back then. That was the story.
Yeah. Right. Big deal. It was a big deal.
Yeah.
So, you work with a lot of actors, right? And I have a list of actors. I'm gonna fly down real quick. You just say yay or nay.
Okay.
Or if you want to add something, right?
Okay.
Okay. Randy West.
Yay.
Cool guy.
Yay.
Double yay.
Yay.
Herschel Savage.
Hey, yay.
Jerry Butler.
Maybe. No, Jerry and I'll add a little bit. Jerry and I got engaged, actually. We fell in lust with each other in Maui, or on the island of Kauai. And he gave me, I still have the ring. And he had to leave early and come back to California because he had another shoot and we had gone over length of filming. So when we got back, when he got back, I was waiting for him at the airport. Yeah, I flew back and then he came in from New York. So anyway, I picked him up at the airport, and all of a sudden he had this heavy New York accent, and he's just like a thug. And I'm going, who the fuck is this? I fell in love with his character. He is a very, very good actor.
Yeah.
And he played Arthur the whole time. That was just this fun-loving, romantic, great, just like a good, great-looking, great, normal-sized dick, but knew how to fuck. Yeah, and then that's not who he was. He was this thug from New York. So
Is he a thug, really?
So I had to break off the engagement. He smelled, he was dirty. I'm like, what the fuck?
Really?
Yeah, so I fucked him several more times after that because nobody goes to a set dirty. Well, I've never been to a set with someone that showed up dirty. So keep going. And
He seemed like a cool guy. I met him a couple times.
Yeah, I thought he was great.
Yeah.
I thought he was absolutely great.
And him and Buck were real tight.
I loved fucking him. He wasn't somebody I liked hanging out with
Good. Yeah.
after we broke up.
Yeah, he had a good presence on camera.
He had a great presence. Yeah, he was amazing.
I remember him, out of something. When you were watching the pornos when you were young back then, some people stood out.
Right.
He stood out. He seemed like cool.
He seemed cool, and he was one of the better looking guys.
Yeah. And he looked like a strong guy.
Yeah.
Buck said he punched him in the face a couple times. They're real good buddies. And Buck used to live with me for about 6 months.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, that's funny.
So, John Leslie.
Yay! I love John Leslie. Not to fuck though. He's so boring.
Really?
John Leslie's one of my favorite people. He wants you to rub his nipples, and that's kind of all that did it for him. It wasn't like playing and fun and this and that and over here and over there. All he wanted me to do every time was rub his nipples. I want to fuck. I'll rub your nipples, but come on, baby, let's do this and this and this and this and this. And no, that he couldn't get off with me unless I was rubbing his nipples.
Really?
So as a person, biggest yay ever. As a fuck, nay.
Whoa, that's serious, huh? All right. Eric Edwards.
Oh, yay.
Whoa, that's a lot of yays.
Eric and I worked a couple for a while.
Really?
Yeah, we dated.
Wow.
He was amazing.
He was cool.
Yeah, I love Eric Edwards.
He's a cool guy, right?
Yeah, he really is.
Yeah, he directed me on probably 10 or 20 movies.
Did he really? Yeah, isn't he wonderful?
Yeah, he was cool. He seemed pretty sharp and seemed pretty organized, on the set.
Good. Yeah.
He was cool, yeah.
He was a great guy.
So good fuck?
Yeah, he was great fuck.
Really?
Yeah, except sometimes he would have to fuck with a fan on him. And the mirror right there.
Oh, the mirror? Oh, shit, really?
He had to watch and be the fan blowing on him.
But the mirror's
And the mirror. No, not that mirror.
Oh,
no,
okay.
looking at himself.
Oh, really?
No, he had to watch himself fuck.
Wow, really?
Yeah, really.
Wow.
Yeah, not every time, but a lot of times.
So he was into himself.
It helped him to get off, I guess.
Really?
He wanted that mirror there, yeah.
Oh, to watch everything?
Probably everything,
I got
yeah.
you. All right, cool.
Yeah, he was a voyeur.
All right, cool.
It wasn't bad.
Yeah,
I dated him for a while. I love him.
he was cool. I liked him. And he was a good-looking guy, too, right?
Very good looking.
Yeah.
Still is.
Yeah?
Still is.
I saw him at Jim's party
Oh.
4 months ago.
Oh, I didn't get to go. I wasn't able to make it. And I wish I had.
Yeah, Jim's great. He
I
doesn't
love
feel
Jim.
well right now.
I heard he broke his hip recently.
I went to visit him. But anyways,
Give him my love, please.
okay, I will.
I tell him I really do love him.
Okay, I will. I'll tell him. Mike Horner.
No, did I fuck Mike Horner?
I don't know. Don
Yeah.
Hart, I think his name.
Oh, not really memorable. Yeah.
I like him.
No,
Yes.
I don't. I think I worked with him on one of the...
I think he's like, like Rubber Man.
That's probably... Yeah, all I know is that he didn't stick out in my mind, but he was a good actor.
Yeah, but he was always hating on the strong guy like me. But anyway, he's lucky that I didn't give him a couple of shots. Ba-ba! I was thinking about it, you know what I mean?
Yeah, he was... I gave him an A. I wouldn't fuck him again.
I'm down with that, right?
Yeah.
Jamie Gillis is a...
Jimmy Gillis, yay!
Yeah.
And Freaky, yay!
Yeah. I love it. He was wonderful. We're on the same level, you know what I mean?
I think we are.
Yeah. Joey Silvera.
Maybe.
Really?
Love Joey. The fucking wasn't memorable.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
not one of my favorites.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I'd fuck him again,
Uh-huh.
but he still wasn't one of my favorites.
But nice guy.
Yeah, nice, super nice.
Super.
Love him.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Mark Wallace.
Oh, I love Mark Wallace. Yay.
Yeah.
And I gotta tell you, when Mark came out, when it came out that he was HIV positive, and we had one of the AVN shows, and he wanted to go so badly, but he's like, I'm not gonna go and get beat up. And so I said, yes, you're going, and I'm gonna be on one side, and my boyfriend, Ralph Garman, who you may know from K-Rock Radio, he's been on for years. Oh, and he's also the voice of several characters on The Family Guy. Anyway, my boyfriend came along. So it was my boyfriend and me on either side of Mark, and we walked in with our heads held high. And I let people, and I had my arm around him and let people know, you know what, I love him.
Oh, wow, that's nice of you.
I cared, and it was just like everybody hated him.
Uh-huh.
And,
Well, that's nice of you.
you know, shit happens,
Wow.
you know? So, stood up.
You don't want shit to happen. But
You
it
don't
happens.
want to, and I don't condone his actions, but I love the person.
Oh, I put him to work for him, you know, after
Did you?
in the editing room, you know.
Yeah.
Make sure he has some, you know.
TTBoy, I love that you did that.
Yeah, I gave him some love.
How was he?
Well, that was years ago, but he called me a year and a half ago.
Mhm.
He says, "Why'd you hit my car? Right? You left a note on my car." I'm like, "Who's this? What are you talking about? You fucking, why'd you do it, man? You gave me the number, he got me." Right? It was a prank call, right? He said, "It's me, motherfucker."
Oh, that's so funny.
He got me. I was like, "Whoa, man, I think I had something going on, a business call or something." So I said, "Mark, let me call you back." He didn't pick up. I called back, his phone was off. So, I don't know.
Oh, that's funny.
That is crazy, right? How about, so Tom Byron you liked?
Love, yeah, Tommy's a big yay.
Scott Irish.
Don't know if I fucked him or not.
Okay. Rick Savage.
Love him. Love him as a person, and I didn't ever get a chance to fuck him.
Paul Thomas, you already said.
PT is PT, yeah.
Yay or nay or?
He's a nay on fucking yay on personality.
I like him. Blake Palmer.
I know the name, and I'm pretty sure I fucked him.
Skip Stokey.
Oh, Skip, yeah, Skip's a yay. Skip's just like a, although the last time I saw him, he's homeless.
Yeah.
But Skip, I remember doing a jacuzzi set photo shoot with Skip, and we weren't supposed to fuck, but we just fucked. We were in this hot jacuzzi doing soft porn, and I'm like, fuck that, just fuck
The wedge.
me.
The wedge, right?
Yeah.
The fuck is that, right?
It was just amazing.
He's cool. The last guy you already said you can't stand. So let's go to this guy. This is the big deal. John Holmes. You worked with him.
I worked with John at least 5 or 6 times.
Whoa.
The only movie that I ever wrote and produced, I hired John as one of my leads. I hired John Holmes, Harry Reams, and Traci Lords.
Oh shit. That was it. What's going on? Yeah,
you know,
smart.
that was everybody. Those are the 4 big names at the time that I wrote. Unfortunately, I called the movie Those Young Girls, and there's a scene in it where Traci and I are 12 in a tent. And so the whole me thing, they tried to come down on me for that, but I had partners. Oh, and they fucked. I had a legitimate film director who's dead by now, so I won't say his name, but he was a director for the Improv. He did all of their stuff, and I hired him to direct my movie. And he and Ron Vogel were my partners, and Alexis Vogel. And Ron Vogel's a photographer. Alexis Vogel was the best makeup artist in the industry forever. For
She's
years.
gone, huh?
She just passed recently.
And Jerry Butler passed too.
Jerry.
Yeah. So how big was he? Was he the mythical guy that he was?
So we did this scene in Those Young Girls where we're having sex, and I'm laying on a desk backwards with my head back, sucking his dick, and there's a shot that with my arm back like that, his dick and my arm were the same length, and it was like, what the fuck, are there 2 dicks in there? You know, it was giant, it was enormous, and it was wonderful. And I'll tell you what, when I worked with John still had a reputation as a druggie and Wonderland murder things, and you know, he was John Holmes with a reputation. So my meeting with John was at the airport. We were flying to San Francisco to work on our first movie together. And, you know, I'm like 5 foot fun. John's a big guy with a big fucking dick, and I'm nervous and I'm scared. And we're walking through security, and he's behind me. And I like pot, I like weed. So I had my pipe in my pocket and a little bit of weed. I asked John, I go, do I put this in the bowl? You know, again, Dory Ginger from Rockford. And he grabs it away from me, and he pushes me through the security thing, and he puts his wallet and his keys in with my pipe and my pot, and passes that through, and takes the risk for himself. That's my first meeting of John Holmes.
Well, he was cool.
He was cool. He was like my big brother, and we just completely hit it off. I loved to work with John Holmes. It was a challenge,
Yeah.
but I was so horny and so wet that it worked.
How did it feel? So big. How did it feel?
Normally, I'm not into big dicks. I'm just not a size queen because I like you in my mouth, I like deep throat, I like you up my ass, I want to put you everywhere I can. Too big, it limits my fun time. There's too much to cover. And my mouth isn't that big.
But it was good.
It was good. It was good. I didn't come with John because he was very specific. He never said anything, but he liked to fuck in a certain way that worked for him. And so whenever I fucked him, whatever way he wanted to fuck, that's how we fucked.
I got you.
And yeah, one of my favorite people ever. I was the only woman from the industry that I know of that actually went to his funeral.
Really?
Yeah, and I had to be taken out through the back of the church because the press was all over the place, and took me down to the basement and not the back way.
Wow.
Yeah, so John, yay!
Did he like you quite a bit?
We liked each other a lot, and his wife, when she wrote her book on him, and I can't remember her name right now, Lori Holmes?
Yeah, I think so.
Lori, said that I was one of 2 or 3 girls that could ever get John completely hard.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so I felt very, very honored.
So he was a cool guy to you, pretty much.
To me, and that I don't judge people. I know you as I meet you. I mean, you might be.
Yeah.
I don't. You know, the you I know right here that we've been love. I adore.
Thank you.
You know, so
Yeah, but for sure, I understand.
you're on my yay list.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, baby.
Thank you. So yeah, so that's interesting. So he was a cool guy.
Very cool.
Buck Adams loved him, right?
Did he?
Yeah, he was like, we're cruising down the boulevard in the Trans Am or whatever, right? He loved him. So you know, Buck can tell me stories. He loved John Holmes.
Yeah, well, good, because I think a lot of people that if you took the time to know him, there's a good guy in there. There's a really good guy in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What Dick Rambone was another big dick guy. Did you ever work with him?
No.
He's kind of probably didn't make it. But anyway, okay. So, what girls in those days? You know, because I'll run some girls at the top of my head. I know Barbara Dare's your favorite.
Yeah, love
right?
Barbara Dare.
We know Chrissy Cannon's one of your favorite. Traci Lords isn't. I know some girls I thought were pretty hot. You know, from real quick.
Right?
Candy Evans.
Never worked with her.
Was she pretty? She was sexy?
I don't.
No, really?
Don't know
okay.
her.
Okay. I think she went out with Al. I think Al told me he messed with her. But,
Yeah, I might have met her, but I don't remember.
Crystal Breeze.
I love Crystal Breeze. Yay! Yay! She was fun.
Yeah.
Kind of dumb, but fun.
Sexy, right?
Very.
Oh, kind of dumb. Okay.
Or maybe she was just playing that way.
She was even dark hair, not blonde, right?
I like the dark hair. I love the dark hair
sexy,
girls. I always go for the dark
Vanessa
hair.
Del Rio, yeah.
Vanessa. Amber Lynn was on my favorites list.
Yeah.
Definitely. Christy. I did not work with Nina Hartley, and you know, except for the radish scene, and all she did was fuck me with a daikon radish. Like, we didn't get into it. So when I made my comeback, I did when Ginger met Nina, and we had our first sex scene. I was, how old was that? 39, maybe 42, late 30s, early 40s. Before Nina and I finally had sex.
Was it good?
No. No, and you know why?
Why?
I mean, we're best friends. I love Nina.
Yeah.
You know, she's on GingerLynnAuctions.com all the time selling her lingerie and her used panties and used everything. We're topping each other. It was more of a contest because I was like, oh, I want to do this to her, I want to do that to her, and she's a complete top. And with women, I'm not so much a sub with women.
Yeah.
I am with men.
You're strong, I got
But with a woman, it, you know, erotic and I'm loving and I'm, you know, everything that goes along with being with a woman. But at the same time, I'm in charge usually. You know, so with Nina, I felt like we were fish flopping. I like to hang out with her like that much better than I like fucking her. So biggest yay ever on hanging out, nay on fucking. Isn't that, don't tell her that.
I'd say no.
You know what, Nina, I love you, you know it.
She's
you know
cool.
it. But we talk, yeah, she knows how I feel.
She got mad at me one time. I'll make it real quick. We got a lot of, more stuff. I'm not important. One time she asked me to spank her. I spanked her. She got mad at me. And
Why?
She said I spanked her to her. But I said, you sure, Nina? Because I got heavy hands. She got mad at me. I was like,
That's not your fault.
no,
You know,
I'm not that guy either. You know what I mean?
Right.
But anyway.
Right.
So, Stacey Donovan.
Oh, talk about a dead fuck. Oh my God. Stacey was so beautiful.
She looked pretty.
She was like tall and perfect and model. She could have been a runway model. I mean, she was just absolutely perfect and stunning. And California girl, kind of happy and just a great, fun girl to be around. But the biggest dead fish to fuck, oh my God, girls or guys. She was just bores me.
I heard that.
Did you hear that?
Yeah, I heard that.
Oh, okay, well then I'm not the only one.
I heard she was beautiful though, too.
Oh my God.
Yeah?
Yeah, one of the most beautiful women I've ever
Yeah,
seen.
she looked like she had everything going
And
on.
I don't go for blondes.
Yeah.
And with her, it was like, oh yeah.
What about Danielle, the blonde?
Never did Danielle, don't know what she looks like.
She had a strong voice. That's what they say. Anyway, I think it's...
No, I miss
Okay.
Danielle.
All right, so then we're done with those girls.
Okay.
So, you know other girls that come to your mind?
No, I think I went over, we've talked
okay.
about all my main favorites, yeah.
Okay. So what is your favorite?
You know what, Care-a-Lot.
Carol, she's cool.
I loved Care-a-Lot.
Do I know her? No, maybe I don't know her.
She
No, I know
died
Sarah
recently.
Kane. Yeah.
She passed on recently.
Oh, really? Okay.
Oh, Kelly Nichols
Kelly Nichols,
is
okay.
one of my. She is my best friend, in
Oh, yeah?
a female version. I have a
Okay.
male best friend that I live with and a female best friend that I will ever bring. So, you know, pretty tight.
She's really cool. Right, Kelly Nichols. Sometimes I get Kelly Nichols and Veronica Hart mixed up, but Kelly Nichols,
Kelly
very
Nichols,
cool.
yes. Marianne Walter.
Married to
Tim Conley. She was.
Marianne's married to
No, she's not married to anybody now. She was.
Oh.
Everybody was married to Tim Conley.
Yeah, Christy
Weren't
too.
they?
No, but yeah, Marianne's great. Right, so cool. Makeup
Yeah.
artist all the time.
Yes.
Right, yeah.
Yes.
Right. She was cool. She was sexy. She was
so
cool. So nice. So nice.
She's really great.
So
and
nice.
then, you know what? My favorite new girl is Alexis Lavelle.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Of all the new girls.
Of all the new, and she's probably been in it for 5 years now, but
Right,
yeah,
right.
still, I love her.
Shout out to her. What's your favorite penis size?
Regular.
Show
You know,
8, 9,
no,
7?
6 or 7 maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, 6 or 7. Is that 6 or 7?
Yeah, you're right. That's about 6 or 7.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
about the right length. And then, you know, girth between this and that.
Okay.
That's the one that works best for me.
I guess.
You know, I mean, I love all penises. They're just beautiful. And they all have such a great personality. You know, so it's not like I don't do or like other dicks, but just as far as me being able to be my best lover and giving you everything that I have, which I'm a giver in bed, even though, you know, like I said, I sub with the man usually. And you know what? Unless if you're not an in-charge man, I will dominate you. If you're like a pussy, I will,
Right.
I have to take over. Otherwise, I'm going to be bored of fuck.
Yeah, I'm a pretty dominant guy.
I think we would get on very, very well.
Anyway.
Yeah, baby, and I love you, Joe. Oh.
So, what is your favorite position?
You know, my favorite position lately has been reverse cowgirl.
Whoa.
I know, right?
Right,
But
wow.
I like because the pelvic bone is there, and I can just fucking come. So I can come like time after time after time,
Really?
and I can play with your balls.
Really?
Yeah, and scratch your legs and stretch out, and I know that, you know, from the back, you know, I know what my body looks like, and you know, so that even my ass showing, you know, put my ass up in the air and
Really?
put something in my ass when, yeah.
Oh, you're a kinky ass girl.
Oh, that's just normal. No, I think we've made love twice and we've been together 10 years. We fought.
Oh, I guess.
We fought, yeah.
Oh, one girl we forgot. Karina Collins. Did you work with her?
Never worked with her.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
No.
So reverse cowgirl, but before it was.
I always liked doggy style.
Okay.
I always liked doggy. And you know what? I love missionary.
Oh,
I love the feel of the weight
Kiss
of a
it,
man
yeah.
on top of my body. I'm so little that the weight just feels big and heavy and
Really?
just your body itself. And my biggest turn, like people go, what's a turn on line or pickup line that we can use? It's the simplest thing ever. Just wear blue jeans. I've got a blue jean fetish. I do. There's something like I will look at your cock and your ass and your. Yeah, if you're wearing jeans, I look. Otherwise, I only, like when people are passing,
Wow.
I'll look at girls all the time. I always look at the girls. And then guys, if you're in jeans, it's like,
It's the tomboy in you, huh?
I don't know what it is. Yeah, maybe the
You wore
tomboy.
jeans and
I wore
Vans?
jeans and Vans,
Yeah.
and my boyfriends growing up did, so maybe that's it. And like, especially if you wear a work shirt that's unbuttoned
Really?
with jeans.
Wow. So all those workers out there, like I used to be a mechanic, so that's that guy.
Yeah.
That's a mechanic kind of outfit.
Oh, I can tell if I'm mechanic.
Construction mechanic.
Yeah.
That's cool. So all right. So do you like getting head more or giving head more?
Getting.
Giving?
I love to get head. I love it so much. But when I suck a cock, I am so engrossed in everything. I mean, the way it looks, the way it smells, every ridge, every bump, every vein, the way you trim your balls. I want to feel them. I like to stretch your ball sack and see how far I can stretch it.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh, that's
yeah.
crazy.
I like to I will play with your cock before I'll turn you on. Sometimes, I'm just fascinated by cocks. I love them. I like to touch them, smell them, play with them, and it just and when I because I love sucking cock so much, I'm really good at it. So I wouldn't ever want to give up getting my pussy licked, but I love sucking cock.
Oh, that's a nice answer, I think, for all the guys out there. So, all right, so here comes this one serious question.
Okay.
Charlie Sheen,
Charlie Sheen is not serious.
Oh, I mean, no, because I had heard that you guys were deeply in love, so I don't know the story. So you met him in what year?
Charlie and I met on February 11th, 1990. And the reason I remember the date is because I was working on Young Guns 2. I had been cast in Young Guns 2. I was there for 3 weeks.
Oh, really? So.
Oh, I still get mega royalty checks, but if you watch the film, all my dialogue's cut, all my action scenes, and not just me, they ended up with a 4-hour movie. So what they did when they cut it down was they cut out most of the female stuff. Christian Slater steals Kiefer Sutherland's watch. Try saying that quickly. And gives it to me, and then I get thrown down a flight of stairs. I'm run out of town in a big carriage. And, I mean, I worked for 3 weeks. They ruined my hair. I had to I was in this movie, but anyway, it doesn't matter. So I still get the checks. It doesn't. But all I am now is I'm called Dove Number 1. That's all I do.
Oh, really? Fuck.
Yeah, do it.
So you met him in.
And that was really good. Big watch.
You met him in that day. So why did you quit the porno business? Because I guess I got it twisted.
No, I quit because I woke up one day and didn't want to.
And that was it.
That was it. I was done. Yeah, no, Charlie had nothing to do with it. No.
Wow, so that was 87 you quit?
I quit. February 11th.
No, you met him, but you.
No, February 11th, 1986 is the date that I quit films.
And then you met him?
And then I met. I never realized that.
What the fuck?
I met, and the reason I know the date is because we didn't fuck until 3 days later, and the first time we fucked was on Valentine's Day.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a trip. So tell me how it worked out. How did you were on there working, he was next to you, he said, hey?
No, he was hitting on me. It just, after we shot in Arizona, Scottsdale or Flagstaff or somewhere around, I don't remember where we shot, but we were out in the middle of nowhere, so we weren't in town, and we were at this hotel, and the way I met Charlie, thank God he didn't see me, because I had a non-face-to-face meeting with him first. I'll tell you how we met after that. So after I met him for the first time, later that day when we would, everybody would meet up in the lobby and hang out and have drinks and talk, and then we usually ended up going to the strip club. So that's just what we did. And so when Charlie came to me, he came to see me. He flew in. He was not working on the film. I'd been told for a while that he wanted to meet me.
So he was in part 1. You're in this is part 2.
Right.
Oh, he got killed in part 1.
He got killed in part 1. Yeah. So that's okay. So he flew in specifically to meet me, but I had been out the night before at the strip club, and so the way my apartment or my condo or whatever we were staying in was set up is the walkway when you walked up, on the right side of it was our bathroom. And I was getting so sick from partying too much the night before, out of both ends. The window was open. The sounds that were coming out of this little body were horrifying. And I hear my friend Alexis open the, Alexis Alexander, and she's in the film as well. We were roommates while we were shooting. I hear her go, "Hi, can I help you?" And it's like, "I'm Charlie Sheen, is Ginger Lynn here?" And I'm the one in the bathroom shitting and puking. And so thank God he didn't know. He didn't. It was never brought up. But that my first official, he came to meet me. It wasn't like pretty. I'm surprised he came back. But we started on Valentine's Day. Of course, we went out to the strip club like we did every night when we went back. I already fucked 3 people on the set.
Whoa, really?
Yeah, I did Christian, I did Lou Diamond Phillips, and I won't mention the third person that I did.
Why? Married or something?
Just out of common courtesy
Okay.
for the person, they've asked me not to,
Okay.
and so I...
That is crazy. You're fucking. So who?
I was fucking young guns. I was fucking all these
Yeah, that's cool. But who fucked you the best?
Oh, Charlie by far.
Yeah?
Charlie by far. Christian, I think I scared him to death. I tied him up with my belt and sat on his face for like an hour.
Really? You took charge. He couldn't handle it, huh?
He didn't take control, so I did.
Did he have a big dick or no?
He had a nice dick.
Yeah.
It wasn't excessive, but it was...
Size you like?
Yeah, it was a size
6
I liked.
or 7?
Yeah, maybe a little bit bigger, but it was awesome. And then Lou Diamond Phillips, I am such a sucker. You can so pull things over my eyes. So Lou is like, "Will you come and talk to me? I'm having a really tough time. My wife is leaving me for another woman." And I'm like, "Oh my God, that's awful. Of course."
He's smooth.
And so I totally fucking fell for it. Hit whatever they say, line and sinker.
Really? So he played you?
He played me.
Ah, all right, that's cool.
So I fucked him, and then the other guy didn't fuck. I just gave him a blowjob in the back of the car. And then we went to the strip club, and I bought Charlie 2 strippers. And I guess he said to me, those are the ones that I would have picked had you not done that, but I kind of snuck off, and because I was watching him and watching the different girls, and so I'm like, I'm gonna give him a couple of girls.
So I mean, hold on. So he comes, you meet him at the room, and then you leave?
We all met in the lobby and then we left.
Okay.
Yeah, we all met in the lobby. We would all go to the strip clubs every night. We would get production vans and just fill it up and just go. That's what we did at night. We drank and went to strip clubs.
So how did he introduce himself? I'm Charlie Sheen. Well, what was it like when you met him? I like him. He seemed like a cool dude to me.
He
My
is a
kind
cool
of guy,
dude.
you know what I mean?
The Charlie that I know is amazing, fantastic, intelligent, articulate, sweet, kind, warm, funny as fuck, extremely intelligent, talented. He's just an amazing man. I could go on and on and on. We met. I was sitting down on a sofa in the lobby of the hotel. They had, it was a nice hotel, so there were like all these little chairs and sofas set up. And he came over and sat on the arm of the sofa next to me and said, "Hi, I'm Charlie Sheen and Ginger Lynn." We just introduced each other, and we started talking. But I was already the set slut. I had people. Should I out him? Nah. I'll just say his name is William. There was William Peterson was one of the actors in Young Guns too, and he left people. I had people leaving me notes at the front desk, and I got one with his phone number and his room number from William Peterson.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I didn't fuck him though, so I didn't fuck Charlie right away because I said I've already fucked it, or I'm doing the Young Guns here. So.
But did you think Charlie Sheen was cute, handsome? You wanted?
Oh my God, yeah, I did, but I didn't want to be a star fucker, and so even when I heard that he wanted to hook up with me, I knew he just wanted to fuck, and there was this part of me that was like, I don't want to be a star fucker. I fuck people that I like. I don't want to fuck you because of who you are, or what you do, or how much money you have, or where you work. Or, I want to fuck you because I like you. And he was so funny and so charming, and he was a gentleman, bought me my drinks, he was kind, he opened the door for me, he did all the gentlemanly things. We held hands, so up until this point, the first 3 nights, we've just been in the lobby with everybody else, talking. We've gone to the strip clubs, but we've never hooked up. And it was Valentine's Day, and it was just kind of, we both knew that we were going to be fucking that night. And so, we got to the strip club, and rather than, because we have nights we'd get people up on the, Kiefer up on the stage, we'd get Diamond up on the stage.
Kiefer?
Yeah, Kiefer Sutherland.
He's cool?
Totally cool.
Seems
totally cool. Yeah, I love Kiefer. So we were very well known at the strip club. Like I said, I was there 3 weeks, and I was probably at the strip club nearly almost every night. So they knew we were in town. There wasn't a whole lot to do. We were out in the middle of nowhere, What do you do at night? So you go to strip clubs.
Yeah.
So
I go west, kind of.
Yeah.
Because what do? You get work, you go to the bar, drink, and maybe see some girls dance, right? And that's it.
Yeah.
Get in a gunfight, die, that's it.
Maybe you buy a girl.
Yeah, rob a bank,
Yeah, I collect coins, and I just got a piece and normally, I've got, I collect all kinds of coins, but I just got an Alexander the Great coin, which is, it's so old and so fucking cool. It's in such great condition. And in my mind, that coin was used to buy a whore. What would the guys use their money for?
Oh, right. It's a really old coin, you're saying.
It's
a true coin.
Oh, yeah, no, it's the real deal.
Wow.
It's
that's really
an
old.
Alexander. Yeah. It's.
How old?
I'm trying to remember how many years BC. I want to say it's 300 years BC.
300 BC. Huh.
It might, or maybe it's older than that. I don't. It's really fucking
That's old. Wow.
Yeah. No, I collect rare coins and.
2,300 years old, you're saying?
Yeah, very easily. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So, but the
cool.
reason I brought it up is because in my mind, when I have a new coin, I think about who's owned it, where it's been, what it's done, and all of my super old ones. Like back in the day, you would buy booze and you would buy women.
Yeah.
Soldiers. And that. What else would you want? That was it. So I don't know where I'm going now. So Charlie, so I bought 2 strippers for Charlie. He said that those would have been the strippers that he would have chose. Not long after that, I'm on his lap and I'm dancing on him and I'm kissing him and we're
Did he kiss good?
Oh.
Yeah.
He was the best kisser ever. We would kiss sometimes for 20 minutes. We would just kiss and grind and just
hot.
I remember so many times him pressing me up against the wall to love, and just holding my arms up and just kissing me, just fucking kissing me. Yeah, it was amazing. So
I love kisses.
Aren't they great? People, and you can tell how people fuck a lot by the way that they kiss. It's very indicative, So we were basically dry humping each other in the club and just totally into each other, and we went back to his room. And I remember him taking off. He was engaged, and he took off. He was engaged to Kelly Preston, and it was very well known because he had shot her accidentally recently.
Where did he shoot her?
I don't know. I don't remember what part in the bathroom, but I don't know what part he shot because he always carries a gun in the back of his jeans, or at least he did when I was with him. Always, he was always packing. And
that's cool. He's like a gangster.
Yeah, he was a bad boy. I love bad boys. And so I guess he was in the bathroom and she was in the bathroom, and the gun fell out of his pants and discharged and shot her. So it's not like he, pointed a gun at her or anything.
That was the story, huh? Oh, was it true?
I wasn't there.
Yeah, I was making.
We don't know. It could have been. Never mind.
Yeah.
So he's taking his ring off. We're making out. The phone rings, and it's Kelly Preston. And he answers the phone, and they're talking, and I'm lying next to him, and I'm just going through this inner turmoil because I'm not the girl that is with the guy that's cheating on somebody. I don't want to be the homewrecker. I want to sleep well at night, and so I'm very careful. I try to be with the decisions that I make. But I rationalized it, which I can do very easily, and decided that this was Charlie's deal. I'm not engaged. I'm single, and if he's out fucking around, that's between him and his girlfriend, because I'm gonna fuck him.
He's a good-looking guy and all that.
He's
right?
gorgeous. He's got a beautiful cock. It's bigger than average, but it's not like giant. But it's really fucking nice, and he really knows how to fuck. He's a great fuck. So anyway, Kelly calls. They're talking. I'm having inner turmoil. They hang up, and Charlie and I fuck. And I think we probably fucked all night long through. I'm sure I went to the set doing the walk of shame, needing that B. On the big movie sets, they have medical personnel, so you can get a B12 shot at pretty much any time you want.
Wow, that's cool.
So yeah, oh god, I've done movies. I did a movie in South Africa that I was down there for 6 weeks with Donald Pleasance and Robert Vaughn, and Verda Bridges, Todd Bridges' daughter, and I would go every night, and we would order 3 bottles of wine in my room, get drunk and fuck.
Fuck the girl?
Yeah, we fucked for months. Yeah.
Wow, that's cool.
I told you I like girls.
Yeah, she's pretty?
She's beautiful.
Wow.
She's beautiful.
What's your name?
Verda Bridges.
Oh.
Her brother is Todd Bridges, the actor.
Oh, okay. Oh, she's black.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was Jeff Bridges for a second.
No,
Bridges. Okay.
Todd Bridges.
All right,
yeah.
cool. That's always fun.
Yeah, she was great. So back to Charlie. So we fucked that night, and it was Valentine's Day, and I know that because I talked to Kelly, and the last thing he said was "I love you," and so anyway, I'm like, all right, so I'm gonna fuck him. So we fucked all night. We had a great time, and Charlie stuck around as long as I was on the set for 3 weeks, so I'm not quite sure when he got there and how long he was there, but we fucked. That was it. I stopped fucking everybody else on the set and just stuck with one. I was so proud of myself. He was a good one. He was a really good one. Not that the others weren't good, but I had to work hard.
But he was a way better fuck than all of them?
Oh, Charlie was by far the best fuck. He could have been a porn star. I mean, he's just got game. He knows how to fuck. We would fuck no shit 6 times a day. We had nicknames for each other. We had a lot of them, but one was, I was the Ginge machine, and he was the Charles machine. He bought me a Rolex one day with the back engraved to the GM loved the CM. Because we fucked like machines. We fucked like rabbits, and we did that nonstop we were together for about 2 years. And about 6 months into our relationship, because we did a lot of drugs, we did a lot of fucking.
It was fun on sex on drugs.
Sex on drugs. It was fun with Charlie. Everything was fun with Charlie. So we did a lot of shrooms. We did a lot of cocaine. We did a lot of fucking. I brought a lot of my girlfriends over, which was good for me sometimes because I tend to, you were saying fucking on drugs. I get to a certain point when I'm high, I don't want to fuck anymore. I just want to talk. And then sometimes if I say hi, I can get back into that fucking again. But there comes a point, and so many of my girlfriend. I remember one night in particular where before Charlie had built his house, he had a condo in Malibu, and my girlfriend, my masseuse Lori, was over, and I was just kind of done. I just didn't want to fuck anymore, and so I just went in the bathroom, drew a bath, and let my friend take over for a while. So if we were on a binge and we've been partying for a while, it was very, I'm going to call so and so. Ask Christy. Christy got one of the late night phone calls. Oh, and Christy said hello, and that I'm supposed to grab your balls. Okay. I forgot that part.
So Christy came in and had sex with Charlie?
No, Christy wouldn't come.
Oh, okay.
No, because I'm like, I'll send you. It was like 3 a.m. I'm like, I'll send you a limo. Just come on,
So Charlie was like, he liked to fuck. Seriously.
Oh,
liked to fuck.
he seriously liked to fuck.
So then you went out with Charlie for 2 years?
We were together for about 2 years. And near the end, it was getting real rough, real choppy, and
Why?
I noticed it. We had gone on a family vacation. Tony Robbins, the public speaker.
I love that.
Yeah, Tony's amazing. So Tony's a friend of Martin Sheen's, and Tony owns his own island. And
Wow.
is it Fiji? I think it was one of the Fiji islands. So anyway, me and Emilio and Renee, and that's his sister, and all but one of the brothers, and of course, Martin and Janet were there, and we all flew to Tony's island. And I just remember, when you start to feel that the person you're with has got other thoughts, or that things are changing.
Uh-huh.
And we were in bed, and we were in one of those beds. They had big mosquito nets over them because wherever we were, it's not like we had AC or anything. The windows were open. It's a really cool place. And we were fooling around, and he was like, "Fuck, your toenail's sharp." And that was so not like, he had never talked to me that way before. And so we started talking, and I'm like, what's going on here? And what it was basically was his agent, his manager, his parents, everybody thought that Ginger Lynn was going to ruin Charlie Sheen's career, because we were getting serious. We'd been together for 2 years, did family holidays and Sundays at the house, and I was Charlie's girlfriend. I wasn't one of the porn stars that just shows up and fucks them. I was his girlfriend.
Yeah.
So Charlie came up with this brilliant idea, because we were going to have to break up. He's like, I can't do this anymore. It's going to hurt my career. And I'm like, fuck you. And he said, no, I've got this idea. What I want to do is I'll pay for everything, and I want to fake your death. And we'll get you complete reconstructive surgery. I've got passports lined up, a new name. You'll go to another country, learn a language so you have an accent, and come back and we can be together. That's how fucking serious we were, and that's how much pressure he was getting from the other side. And so it just started causing us to fight and back and forth. So we had 2 good years, and then another 3 off and on. After the whole... For someone to say to me, I get it, he was such an A-list actor. And thank you. Even the man that I'm with now, when you date a porn star, there's baggage that goes along with it, it just does. Mm-hmm. And like the man that I'm with right now is totally normal. He's fucked up and kinky like I am. I was telling you, Debbie Diamond introduced us, but let's get back to Charlie right now. So anyway, Charlie and I, we had broken up, and that's how we ended up where I told you we found each other in Cannes, and then we flew off to Vienna for the Three Musketeers shoot. And it just kind of got sad. Charlie was doing a lot more drugs. I remember one night, sorry, this order's really good. Or tangerine. It was Charlie's 26th birthday. And so I had 26 different gifts for him. And one of the gifts was I knit. And I had knit him, I call them Gingerbug hugs. Gingerbug was my nickname when I was a little girl. My blankets, the yarn that I use and the needles the size that I just make these really plush, amazing blankets. So it's Charlie's birthday, I'm working on this blanket. I'm in Florida shooting a children's series at Universal called Super Force.
Wow,
yeah,
that's a big contrast.
5 episodes. I was the leading man's girlfriend, and then the show got canceled. But anyway, not because of me. It stayed on for a while after that. So Charlie's, I was supposed to catch a flight out that night. I've got 1 scene left to do, and I'm going to make it home to see Charlie. Well, the director's a dick, and I have no dialogue left. All my dialogue is done. It's just the scenes where I'm standing there for the other actor. And he just kind of dicked around and made it so that I didn't catch my plane, which was good because Charlie's assistant had called me. And she said, I've got something to tell you. She said, Charlie's partying again, and he's got the entire, I won't say the name of the team, he had an entire baseball team at his house, and Heidi Fleiss and her girls. And I'm sitting there knitting a blanket for him, on the set, and trying to, I'm like being a little bitchy with the director because I want to get home to my man, and I'm like, fuck this. So I go home, and this is, like I said, after getting in the rough and funny cat patches. I go home, and Charlie's calling and I won't talk to him. And his limo driver comes to the house, and his limo driver just stays there for days. And he's knocking on my door, and he'll come up and check on me, and have you changed your mind? And Charlie. And in the meantime, I'm having an I hate Charlie Sheen party. So my girlfriend and I'm burning his posters, I'm burning stuffed animals he's given me. I'm like, fuck that asshole. And he calls me, and I'm like, you know what? Fuck you, Charlie Sheen. He goes, nobody says fuck you to Charlie Sheen, and hangs up on them. You know, so I mean, it was just getting really bad. So I got in the limo. It'd been a few days since I got back from Florida, and I went to his house, and he was doing a lot of drugs. And I remember standing behind him and rubbing his heart because he was freaking out that he was gonna overdose. And I got him calmed down, and I got him okay, because I don't know how long he'd been doing drugs, but he was in not a good condition. And there were 2 other guys there that I didn't know, and one guy that I did know. His stunt double was there, and these 2 other guys. And so we're sitting at the bar in his new house that he's just built, and I'm rubbing his chest, and he goes, will you marry me? And I'm like, are you going to stop fucking everything that walks around? You know, with it. There's plenty of girls that I brought home to him, and he was just too much of a horn dog for me. It was great for the first 2 years, but then once we started being on the in and out thing, he was just fucking everybody, and it was flaunting in my face, and people that I knew, and some of my girlfriends that, you know, so it was just really ugly. But he had the 2 people that were there. One was a minister, and then he had 2 witnesses for us to get married right then, and he had a ring, and I'm like,
Wow.
I can't marry you. You know, you still want me to change my face and my name and I actually seriously considered doing it.
Wow.
I was so in love. It was the first time I'd ever been in love, and it was so real and so deep, and it was so both ways that it was hard. It was, you know. I dreamt about him for years after that. For like 10 years, I still dreamt about him.
In dreams, meeting him, seeing him,
yeah.
fucking him, getting high, whatever, having a good time.
I'm sure I've gotten high in some of my dreams with him, but yeah, and I'll still occasionally have one.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, it was my first love.
You stay in touch with him or no?
No. When I got pregnant, there was a lot of controversy about who my son's father is, and that's nobody's business but mine. So Charlie was one of the people that was on the guessing list, you know, because people were out guessing who the father was. So Charlie got pissed off, and he's like, I need you to make a statement. And I said no. And so then he had his attorneys call me, and I never talked to him again. If you're not man enough to fucking call me and talk to me, you have your attorney call me, fuck you, you pissy little. So at the end, it wasn't good.
Oh, that's kind of like life, but it kind of sucks. Yeah.
You know what? We had 2 great years, and they were 2 of the greatest years of my life.
Yeah.
You know, I'd never flown in private jets before. I'd never flown first class from Vienna to the United States. I'd never been exposed to an A-list family, much less, you know, my boyfriend. I mean, he had his father and his brother, and they were kind of Hollywood royalty over there.
Yeah.
And we had 2 really good years.
Yeah. Oh, sounds cool. Sounds like a good time.
We did it. I have nothing bad to say about Charlie. And when I called him that thing at the end, it's just I got a little bit pissy. Yeah. A little cunty. I get that way sometimes.
Well, I mean, you still
but it's cute
hurt
when
a
you're
little
cunty.
bit, maybe, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be nice to see him.
Yeah.
It'd be nice to see him. Funny thing is, my son is in college right now, but he parks valet. And the place that he parks valet is a very ritzy place. And so Charlie pulled up one day, and Charlie goes, hey, man, you know, I know your friends, you know my mom. And he goes, who's your mom? And he goes, Ginger Lynn. And Charlie goes, how old are you? And he sat there, and he was doing the math, and he goes, all right, dude. Kind of walked away not knowing.
Oh, shit, that's funny.
Isn't it that?
Was Martin and Emilio cool?
Martin was amazing. Emilio was funny as fuck. He and Charlie used to play pranks on each other all the time. And I'll tell you one more story.
Okay.
And then I've got to get moving here. So I had a pet tarantula. because I'm allergic to tarantulas. Of course, I thought it was a good idea to get a Pat. And you know, I loved it. I loved it, Pat, because I didn't know if it was a girl or a boy. So I remember Saturday Night Live. Pat, the girl. You couldn't tell if it was a girl or a guy. There was a character. Anyway, so my tarantula was named Pat. And what tarantulas do is they molt. They don't just grow. They crack their shells open. They crawl out, and then you've got an exact replica of a tarantula. It's, you know, they're like a snake. They shed their whole body. Yeah, it's really cool. So Pat had shed, so Charlie took Pat's skeleton from her shedding, and he put it in Emilio's car on the stick shift. They were always doing things. They played a lot of pranks on each other. They were close, and the whole family was really nice. I got pretty close with his sister.
Oh, that's cool.
His mom was kind of, you know, I get it. Nobody's mom wants you to bring home a porn star, you know, especially when you're Charlie Sheen. So she was always really nice to me, but like at Christmas time, she would always forget to get me a present, like twice in 2 of the Christmases she forgot. And so what she would do, I remember the first year she did it, she goes, oh, I forgot to wrap your present. And so she runs back into the other room, and I'm like a size 2, and she has a size 6 dress that's still got tags on it, that you know she didn't go out and buy for me. So she was nice, but there were little funky things in there too.
So we're at the very end. She spent so much time. Thank you so much.
I know. Are people going to watch? They're going to get bored of me.
I don't think so.
I don't know.
I think it's great. I appreciate it. Can you describe in 2 words your experience in the business?
Golden and growing. Let me change it. Empowerment.
Golden
instead.
and empowerment?
Golden and empowerment are my 2 words.
That's nice.
Yeah.
That's cool. You hear that? It was a golden time and it empowered her.
It did. It did. Interesting question. I never been asked that before. You made me really think.
2 words. That's how your eye twitched like.
Did it?
We are done. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Sorry that we didn't meet earlier, because you're absolutely wonderful, and thank you for having me on.
No, thank you for coming and taking all this time. She's busy, believe me. Thank you. TTBoy TV out.